We need to work together. I think in times of crisis, I think we all know that it's the celebrities that we count on most. They're the ones who are going to get us through this.
Absolutely the worst guy. He is a leverager. He's a bully. All these things. Applauding Deadpool is, oh my God, maybe he's going to make an appearance in the Avengers Doomsday movie.
The long-standing perception that Ryan Reynolds has complete creative control over Deadpool is increasingly being viewed through a more realistic lens, as the character remains part of Disney and Marvel Studios' broader creative oversight. Since Disney acquired 20th Century Fox, many fans believed Reynolds had been given unlimited freedom to shape Deadpool's future, but major franchise decisions ultimately require collaboration with Marvel executives and fit within the studio's long-term plans. This discussion gained fresh attention after Reynolds appeared on the Conan O'Brien Needs a Friend podcast, where he spoke candidly about the collaborative nature of developing Deadpool stories, acknowledging that ideas are refined through discussions with Marvel leadership. His comments reinforced that while Reynolds is one of the character's most influential creative voices, Deadpool's future is ultimately determined through a partnership between the actor, Marvel Studios, and Disney rather than by any one individual. Ryan Reynolds later recalled a memorable moment from a private screening of Deadpool and Wolverine with Disney CEO Bob Iger that highlighted how even high-profile creative decisions can be subject to executive review. According to Reynolds, after watching the film, Iger asked him to remove a specific joke, and when Reynolds asked which one, Iger indicated he already knew the answer, the line involving Mickey Mouse. Reynolds said his first reaction was to push back, explaining that he believed the joke was central to the film's comedic rhythm, but the exchange ultimately underscored that while he has significant creative influence over Deadpool, Disney's leadership still has the final say on content involving the company's biggest franchises and iconic brands. Reynolds described the joke as a key part of the film's comedic structure, admitting that he initially felt strongly about keeping it and even joked that he became overly protective of the line. He recalled pacing around Bob Iger's office as he considered the request, recognizing that the discussion reflected the realities of working within a major studio system. Ultimately, Reynolds agreed to revise the scene after Disney leadership objected to the original joke, illustrating that while he has substantial creative input, final decisions on content in a Disney-backed Marvel film remain subject to executive approval. Sheer significance of this executive intervention becomes even more striking when you examine the line that was ultimately removed. Although Ryan Reynolds initially kept the exact dialogue private, Disney's later publication of the official Deadpool and Wolverine screenplay for awards season consideration reportedly revealed the deleted exchange. The omitted joke appears during the scene in which Deadpool learns that Magneto is dead and realizes several iconic X-Men characters won't be making surprise cameo appearances. In the earlier version of the script, Deadpool launches into an over-the-top, profanity-filled rant aimed at Disney itself. According to the released screenplay, the joke crossed into territory that directly referenced the company's most recognizable corporate symbol in an explicit and highly provocative way, while Reynolds and director Sean Levy reportedly viewed the moment as classic fourth-wall-breaking humor that pushed the franchise's trademark irreverence to its limits. The line was ultimately removed before the film's release. Reynolds later replaced it with a far less controversial joke involving Pinocchio, preserving the comedic beat while avoiding a direct attack on Disney's flagship brand. Whether the decision came directly from Disney leadership or through the studio's internal approval process, the outcome sent a clear message. Even a franchise as boundary-pushing as Deadpool still operates within limits when it comes to Disney's core corporate identity. The film may embrace extreme violence, profanity, and self-aware comedy, but some subjects remain off-limits. For many observers, this story represents more than a routine script revision. It illustrates the constant balancing act between creative freedom and corporate brand protection inside one of the world's largest entertainment companies. Rather than being just another editing note, the incident has been interpreted by many as a reminder that, regardless of a filmmaker's influence or an actor's creative input, final authority ultimately rests with the studio. Ryan Reynolds cultivated a reputation as a Hollywood powerhouse who played by his own rules, controlled his own marketing, and enjoyed remarkable creative freedom through his Maximum Effort production company. However, Bob Iger's reported personal decision to veto a specific Deadpool joke served as a powerful reminder of who ultimately controls Marvel's biggest intellectual properties. When the CEO of the Walt Disney Company personally intervenes in the editing process, it underscores that final creative authority rests with the studio, not even with one of its most influential stars. The moment sent a clear message throughout Hollywood. Reynolds may be the face and voice of Deadpool, but Disney determines the character's boundaries, oversees the final cut, and has the ultimate say over what reaches audiences. More importantly, this reported disagreement over a single Mickey Mouse joke reflects a broader corporate shift taking place across the Marvel Cinematic Universe as Disney tightens creative oversight following several high-profile box office setbacks. After a series of costly streaming productions, disappointing box office performances, and growing criticism over Marvel's creative direction, Disney has reportedly shifted toward a far more centralized approach to managing its biggest franchises. Bob Iger has publicly emphasized reducing Marvel Studios' overall output, placing greater focus on quality over quantity, strengthening brand consistency, and prioritizing major theatrical releases with broad commercial appeal. Under this strategy, the era of giving filmmakers and A-list stars broad creative latitude on blockbuster projects has become far more limited. Executive oversight now extends across every stage of development, from scripts and dialogue to character arcs and overall franchise continuity, to ensure individual creative choices align with Disney's long-term business objectives. For Ryan Reynolds, this represents a significant change from the environment in which the first two Deadpool films were produced at 20th Century Fox, where comparatively modest budgets and greater creative flexibility allowed his signature irreverent style to flourish. Operating within Disney's Marvel ecosystem, however, means working inside a global franchise where scripts, jokes, and story decisions are reviewed through multiple layers of creative, legal, marketing, and brand management before reaching the screen. Reynolds' admission that he found himself pacing around Bob Iger's office illustrates the significant psychological and professional adjustment that came with joining Disney's corporate structure. After years of enjoying exceptional creative freedom, he was now operating within a tightly managed franchise where even a line he considered central to the film could reportedly be removed by a single executive decision. Industry observers view this as part of a broader challenge facing Deadpool's future in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. As Marvel moves toward large-scale crossover films such as Avengers, Doomsday and Avengers: Secret Wars, balancing the characters' irreverent humor with the needs of a shared franchise becomes increasingly important. Unlike his standalone adventures, Deadpool must now coexist with PG-13 heroes such as Spider-Man, Captain America, and the Fantastic Four, requiring a tone that fits within the wider Marvel brand. The reported decision to remove a joke aimed at Mickey Mouse reflects Disney's willingness to impose creative boundaries whenever executives believe a moment could conflict with the company's broader brand strategy. Disney's reported decision to impose tighter creative oversight carries implications that reach far beyond the removal of a single line of dialogue. It reflects a broader shift in Hollywood, where major studios are increasingly reclaiming authority over their most valuable franchises after years in which high-profile stars and producers often exercised significant creative influence through their personal brands, production companies, and massive social media reach. Faced with escalating production costs, changing audience habits, and mounting financial pressure, media companies are placing greater emphasis on centralized decision-making, brand consistency, and long-term franchise management. The message is straightforward. While actors and filmmakers help define iconic characters, the studios ultimately own the intellectual property, control distribution, and retain final approval over what appears on screen. Ryan Reynolds later recounted the reported disagreement during an appearance on Conan O'Brien's podcast, presenting it as a lighthearted behind-the-scenes story and emphasizing the creative discussions that took place. While the anecdote was shared with humor, it also highlighted the realities of working within a global entertainment company, where even the most influential creative voices operate within boundaries established by studio leadership. Although Ryan Reynolds recounted the story with his trademark wit and self-deprecating humor, the anecdote underscored the reality that creative disagreements can arise even on projects an actor has spent years writing, producing, and championing. The subsequent release of the film's screenplay during award season, which drew attention to the omitted joke, sparked online debate over where the line should be drawn between creative expression and brand stewardship. Some fans viewed the reported edit as an example of corporate caution, while others saw it as a reasonable decision for protecting one of the world's most recognizable entertainment brands. Regardless of where opinions landed, the episode highlighted the collaborative and sometimes hierarchical nature of blockbuster filmmaking, where final creative decisions ultimately rest with the studio. As Marvel Studios continues integrating Deadpool into future crossover projects, the character's evolution will likely reflect a balance between Reynolds' distinctive comedic voice and Disney's broader franchise strategy. Reynolds is expected to remain a key creative force behind the character, but within a system that places increasing emphasis on consistency, long-term planning, and brand management across the Marvel Cinematic Universe. More than just an amusing behind-the-scenes story, the reported dispute has become a symbol of the ongoing negotiation between individual creative vision and corporate oversight in modern Hollywood, illustrating how even the industry's biggest stars operate within the framework established by the studios that own the intellectual property.